Humor, vigor, emotion, and nostalgia might all come to mind when reading Dylan Thomas's A Child's Christmas in Wales. From the viewpoint of a young boy, Thomas portrays a simpler time while reminiscing about Christmases past. On Saturday, Thomas's famous Christmas classic was brought to life through the spoken word during an evening of holiday festivities in the home where the Welsh poet was born. Owner of the Dylan Thomas Birthplace, Jeff Hayden, says that the home offers a place of nostalgia that takes people back in time, much like A Child's Christmas in Wales.
Well, tonight is part of our Christmas celebrations at the Birthplace, and traditionally every year we've had an actor performing Dylan's Child's Christmas in Wales, and now we've got Bob Kingdom, who is an internationally renowned actor who's performed Dylan's work all over the world. And complemented him, we've got a young singer-songwriter, Connor Burns. I think we get wonderful response from people. People are very kind in the way that they say how well the house has been restored back to its condition as it might have been as a new house in 1914. And of course, at this time of year, we've got it decorated for Christmas. We've got some fairly traditional Christmas decorations, so it's something that goes back in time. So this is a house of nostalgia. Dylan was born here. He was born in the front bedroom on the 27th of October 1914, and he lived here for 23 years and wrote 2/3 of his published work while living in the house. So really this is the most important house in Dylan's life.
The night not only featured a reading of Thomas's famed Christmas pose, but entertained guests with live music, holiday treats, and a chance to explore and view the home where Thomas lived for so many years of his life. Adding to the night's nostalgia, actor Bob Kingdom explains that the oral tradition gets back to an elementary stage that brings back the traditions of the ways that people were meant to be entertained.
Yeah, I think that everything happens on a screen now, isn't it? People looking down at their mobile phones. I can't, for the life of me, think what people could be looking at every minute of the day. Walking along pavements, bumping into things. What are they looking at? So that the oral tradition is one of the oldest traditions of storytelling. And, in native villages, people would, a narrator, a storyteller would go from village to village telling stories before there was cinema, radio, or TV or anything, and they'd listen spellbound, which is getting back to an elemental stage. That at one time that's what people were entertained. So I think it's getting back to that thing. It's flesh and blood. It's reacting to something that's happening now in the flesh, and I think it's very important because what's happening on the mobile phone isn't real. It's not. People think it's real. It's not. This is real. I'll pinch. And so I think it returns us to that in a very simple way.
While Dylan remains popular in the public today, Jeff says that his work is something to be proud of for people in Swansea.
I think it's really essential that Dylan's work is performed in Swansea. This is, of course, where he was born, where he was brought up, where all his inspiration came from. And I think it's something that the city should be proud of. They're proud of this man who is the second most published, this man who is the second most quoted poet on Google to Shakespeare. That's a huge thing, and he should be revered in Swansea far more than he is at the moment, I think. Certainly in the last 4 or 5 years since the Dylan Thomas centenary in 2014, he has been much better known throughout the world, and I think it's high time that he was in that situation.
While it didn't snow last year too, it seems that the night of nostalgia brought back memories of Christmases past. Nichole Louchios, That's TV, Nichole Louchios.